There's gotta be a better way of doing that. Wasting money has always been my favorite hobby, but it's just not as efficient as it used to be. And what really sucks for me is I've been getting a lot more money lately from things like avoiding taxes and that pyramid scheme I started as a joke last year. You know, maybe I need another hobby that'll really scratch that money wasting itch. All right, what do we got? Yachting? No, Wii Fit makes me nauseous. I'm sure being on a boat would be the exact same. Car collecting? Nah, not my thing. Besides, the government took away my ID after that accident a few years back. Let's see, what else do I got? Retro game collecting. Yeah, right. You telling me Luigi's gonna help me drain my bank account? I highly doubt that. Oh, so that's why Luigi was on the horoscope today.
12 seconds later.
All right, so I just spent a really long time doing research, and as it turns out, yeah, it's quite expensive. So now you're probably wondering, why is it so expensive? And why do people enjoy it if it is so expensive? I'm gonna answer that second one first. So if an expensive hobby like this is draining your bank account, what's the appeal? Turns out, several reasons. Most notably nostalgia. The people who grew up with these games are gonna eventually want to play them again, and the easiest way to do so for most people is to just rebuy their childhood favorites from a reseller. Thankfully, not all retro games cost, so most people get lucky and can afford food for the rest of the week. However, if their childhood classic is one of the games, then they're either going to have to donate some fluids or cut their losses. I'm a huge advocate for the former. Another reason is that some people just missed out on certain games as a kid for one reason or another, so now can be their chance to experience a game they've wanted to experience for a long time now. Now you're probably thinking, why not just emulate? One, some people don't want to go through the effort of emulating games, and some people just straight up don't have the hardware to do that. And two, some people just prefer playing original games on original hardware, including me. Oh, and while we're on the topic, have you ever noticed that Japanese retro games are almost always cheaper than the American versions? Even when it comes to the super expensive games, the Japanese version is oftentimes cheaper. This is because the Japanese have been known to treat their games like books and resell them when they're finished, rather than hoard them like us rotten little Americans like to do. And I'm not beating the allegations with this one. Now to answer the main question, why is it expensive to begin with? Again, several reasons. The games are just straight up not being produced anymore, so naturally discontinued products are going to cost a little bit more. Also, if a remake or a remaster or a re-release doesn't exist for a certain game, it could cause the game to cost more. Some games just didn't sell well at release, so fewer copies were made, making them rarer and more expensive on the secondhand market. Not to mention my earlier point about how we Americans treat our games versus the Japanese. Sometimes the more popular games are rarer because the collectors are hoarding them. This is also why your secondhand game shops are lined with every Madden known to man, but only have like 2 good GameCube games. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get into this whole drop a mortgage payment on Grandpa's Nintendo games hobby. I think it'll scratch the money wasting itch perfectly. But the real question is, should you get into it yourself? After all, not all the games are ridiculously expensive, so why not build a collection of your own? Games you've never played before, or childhood classics. But if that childhood classic of yours requires an organ donation, maybe reconsider. But if it is reasonable, why not start up a little bit of a collection? It could be fun. Yeah, I know I said to avoid the overpriced games, but I'm a huge Futurama fan, so would anybody like to buy a slightly used kidney? No lowball offers though, because I know what I'm worth.